What is up, Ravens flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. Jensen Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in everyone to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell. And this episode, we're going to discuss kind of a peculiar and confusing situation surrounding a former Raven who is now a current Carolina Panther. But before we get into that, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and we will keep you up to date on all your Ravens news. But Jimbo, let the people know why we are here tonight.
Yeah, this was a really weird one because, as you guys know, center Bradley Bozeman, former Ravens center Bradley Bozeman, signed a one-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. And it was really perplexing for a number of reasons. So I just kind of want to lay them out before we dig into, why we're having this conversation. One is that he seems like the typical guy that the Ravens would want to keep on board. Man of the year, nominees, great in the community, durable, 6th-round pick that's really improved every year. All that's important on the field and off the field. But not only that, it's also weird because, I one of the other talking points here is just simply the contract itself. Bradley is only making, I just have some details here. Here we go. And right when I need him, I lost him. He's making his roster, or excuse me, his base salary is a little over $1 million. He gets up to $500,000 per game that he's on the active roster, and he has like a $265,000 workout bonus. So really incentive laden deal.
Yeah.
And it just it makes you stand to wonder, like, what happened. Where was the miscommunication that, that caused Bradley Bozeman to walk out the door? Was it him? Was it the Ravens? Was it both? Who didn't want who? And how did it end up this way? Because, look, Glenn, he's now playing for a losing franchise who's going nowhere quickly, still doesn't have a quarterback, in my opinion, whose coach belongs in college.
Yeah.
And he's on a one-year deal, so he has no long-term security. For a guy that's a 6th-round pick and has never made real NFL money yet, he's got to wait another year for that now. So, there's just so many angles to this.
A ton. And this is a guy who also likes to really dig into the community and make a difference. Him and his wife do a ton, which we certainly applaud, and we're thankful for what they did here in the Baltimore community. But if you like to get your involvement up in the community, how much can you really get done with the uncertainty of just a 1-year deal? I mean, how much commitment do you want to put into the community when you have a bit of a time frame there that you don't know where you're going to be next year? So how much can you really dig your roots in the community? It's strange, but
you play 8 games at home in Carolina, and then you can be on another team.
Exactly. I mean, so it's that part's kind of interesting. I find it hard to believe that the Ravens didn't value him at this number, right? Like, even if they did have. Maybe he didn't live up to the expectations or the hopes that they had for him when they switched him back to the center position. But I gotta believe that they thought he was worth $1 million a year. I mean,
maybe, I don't know if this will provide you any clarity, but maybe let me give you some additional context here. This is from Jeff Zrebeck, responding to someone asking about, what happened, why did he move on, was it both sides, etc. He said. This is what Jeff Zrebeck said, and this was just March 20th, not too long ago. I believe it was more the Ravens in that it was more the Ravens wanting to move on. Seems like they shut the door after they couldn't sign him in December. I'm not sure they made him an offer. They've made him an offer since free agency started. I know they hadn't as of mid last week. Maybe they did later in the week after his market dropped, but I'm not sure. So I think maybe, because remember we were talking about how, like, can the Ravens fit this guy in? We were expecting him to get a fat deal. Like, if they pay for someone, it was going to be Bozeman. And so do you think that, so a couple things happen in my mind. I think, okay, say they offered him a deal that he thought he could get more. He didn't get more. Why didn't he go back to the Ravens and say, hey, I'll take that deal?
Yeah, or even I'll take less than that deal.
Do you think that the money was gone because they signed Marcus Williams? They, what I mean? They're like, look, dude, we allocated those resources to other people now.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because some people said this guy was an 11 to 12 million a year guy, and then others said, well, he's at least 8 to 9, and he ends up with just one, guaranteed. And then the more puzzling part about it is the deal that they gave Patrick McCarry. They just signed Patrick McCarry to a contract worth $15.4 million
Over
with
3 years, correct?
yeah, with 7.1 guaranteed at signing. At signing, Jimbo. And then the guarantee also consists of a fully guaranteed 2022 base salary and $6 million option bonus, which was just due like yesterday. So the part that I'm struggling with to understand is that we're all understanding that Patrick McCarry, or assuming that Patrick McCarry is the utility sixth guy that's able to come in no matter which one of the five guys ahead of him go down. Well, you mean to tell me you're going to pay that guy 15.4, but you won't pay a starting center $2 million? Like that?
Yes.
It must have been the Ravens were truly ready to move on. But my question back to you is, Jimbo, was it an emotional decision? Were they frustrated
Right.
by him not accepting their initial offer? And was this purely based on them thinking, you know what, we feel burned that you didn't accept our offer, which we think is fair. So don't come back when your market isn't what you expect and your agent doesn't get you the money you're hoping for. Don't come crying back to us. Like, was it one of those situations, Jimbo?
I think if anyone got emotional here, I don't think it was the Ravens. They're a business, right? Like, you have to run it like a business. Now, everyone is emotional, but I think that at the end of the day, if you're a bean counter, right, you're just counting numbers and value of contracts, and you're trying to be an analytical person when it comes to building the best roster you can, you really don't have room for emotions. You can't, I don't know if that makes sense. So I think that if anyone got emotional here, it could have been Bradley, who said, okay, this is a really crappy offer. I'm not, his agent could have simply said, give me your best offer. This is all, because after that, we're testing the market and we're going somewhere else. Right. And then the Ravens said, this is our best offer. He didn't like it. So he said, all right, we're outie. I just have a hard time seeing the Ravens being too emotional to not come back and say, Bradley, look, you're a good player. We'll pay you $4 million this year, guaranteed to come play center. Like, right. Or there's something that we don't know about Bradley Bozeman. I don't know. Maybe they don't think he's as good as other people.
That's the only thing, because it can't be that he's a locker room issue. It's just that can't be the issue. So it has to be performance based or an emotional decision, because I hear what you're saying, that they shouldn't base these decisions on emotion, right? The NFL, I mean, the Ravens as an organization, but it's hard to imagine that Bradley was so insulted by this deal, a deal that couldn't have been as low as the one he just accepted. It just couldn't have been. So how can he be so offended by the Ravens offer, but yet be so happy to take the Panthers offer, which I got to imagine is far less than what he was offered by the Ravens? And then you look at the McCarry deal. Like, McCarry's going to make $7.1 million in 2022. He'll make $4 million in 23, and he'll make $4.3 million in 2024. I mean, $7 million, Jimbo.
Well, I'll tell you this, Glenn. If it is the emotions of our front office, Eric DaCosta, whatever, shame on them.
Disappointing, right? Yeah.
Shame. Because at the end of the day, Bradley did everything right here.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a great story for the Ravens franchise to sign. And he's all the things. He's reliable on the field. He's a good leader. He's a locker room guy, like you said. He's great in the community. But he's reliable on the field, and he's a good football player. Like, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. If you don't have to worry about character stuff, he's reliable on the field. He's a good football player, and he's a good teammate. So
he was rated the 11th best center in football last year, and he's got $1 million coming his way. And his first opportunity,
there are guys on there are tons of guys. I mean, think of all the guys that are playing his position.
What did Ryan Jensen just get, Jimbo?
Yeah, Ryan Jensen got 3 years, $39 million. Ryan Jensen
was rated 14th last year.
Yeah, he's going to make more money this year than Bradley Bozeman has made in his now going into his 5th season combined.
Patrick McCarry's going to make more this year than he's made in all that. I don't understand what the hell is going on.
I think Bradley Bozeman needs a new agent.
Definitely.
needs a new agent. This has got to go down as one of the most garbage contracts for a guy that just put on a great season and did nothing but exceed expectations on his rookie contract. Think about this, dude. Ryan Jensen, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he a 6th-rounder as well, or undrafted? I think he was a 6th-rounder though.
It was bad. I know it was very.
He comes
late.
in, and how many years did he play well here? I mean, there was a lot of years where he was buried in the lineup. It wasn't like he was the headliner.
Right. No, absolutely.
And Bradley was a starter for how long now?
I find it hard to believe a team didn't grab him and put him at guard for more than $1 million.
Yeah, like dude.
He showed positional versatility. Like, what else do you want from this guy? He'll be your best community guy. And he played over 1,100 snaps last year. Like,
there's got to be something that we're not seeing, or I don't have any other logical, rationale for
makes no sense
explaining this away. There's none of it. I don't get it. Certainly a serious head scratcher that I would like to know more about. And like I said, if it's Eric DeCosta getting butt hurt, like, dude, get off your high horse. Yeah. Like, shame. Like,
that's
I'm
what
not
negotiating is. You negotiate. You don't always accept the first offer. Now, I don't agree with the tactics of Zadarius Smith and his agent, where you accept an offer only to use it as leverage to get your client paid more. I don't agree with that, but I certainly have no problem with you getting offers from multiple teams and negotiating your figure as high as you can before agreeing. I think that's only logical, and there's no way. There's no way that Bradley's agent did the best he could have possibly done for his client. No chance.
100%. Because there's no, like, Eric DeCosta has said this all the time. He said it on the podium, if I'm not mistaken, about Calais Campbell. I might be mistaken here. But I think he did say it. He basically said, like, the door's open.
Yeah, he did.
And go out there and, see what's out there, right? Like, how many times have the Ravens said, go set your market and let's talk before. Oh, yeah, he did say that. He said, we would like to know before you make a final decision or any decision. Like, give me a phone call, Calais. Like, give me a call. How did that not happen with Bradley Bozeman? Like,
I don't understand it. And he was the guy that they put in front of the microphone a lot. Like, there wasn't obvious tension between him and I can't understand what happened there and why he's a Panther for $1 million when we're giving Patrick McCarry $7 million. I can't understand. And then how much did we just give Pat Ricard? 3.75?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, right. He's a fullback. He's a dinosaur. Like, and I agree with you 100%. How many teams didn't do their due diligence and say, hey, Bradley, 6th-round pick, are you cool if we pay you $6 million for the next 4 years per year to play guard? Oh, yeah, let me think. I'm a 6th-round pick, and I've never made anything like that in my life. Sure, I'll play guard for $6 million a year and get a guy that's a solid starter. In his best case scenario, he could be a Pro Bowler if 2 guys get injured. A guy gets injured. Like, whatever, right? But, like, he could be a Kevin Zeitler. I don't think Zeitler's ever made a Pro Bowler.
No.
But
fringe guy, yep.
But, you know what I mean? How many people didn't do their homework here?
It's
Panthers,
baffling.
Good job. Like, good on you. You're a terrible team, but you got a good signing in Bradley Bozeman.
Yeah, hell of a value. And I got to imagine that this is a bit of a stain on the resume of his agent, and I would be looking for a replacement
out the
pronto.
door. Brad, give us a call.
We could have done better.
Yeah,
seriously.
Because we will walk in there and good cop, bad cop the hell out of that. Look, and we're bringing the boy along, dude.
There you go.
Right in the pocket.
Good
He's
luck.
going right in the pocket, dude.
That's right.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, this is a real head scratcher. But if you guys can make any sense of this, please, in the comments below, let us know what the heck you think happened, because we are baffled by this entire situation. I cannot understand it for the life of me. So hopefully someone in the comments can shed some sort of new light on the situation that gives us some clarity. But if not, maybe we'll get some when the season starts and the microphones turn on. But until then, we'll hope that you guys come up with something, and we'll talk to you soon.